Now, following last week's 2.5% sharp decline in the Nigerian equities market, analysts at Cordros say they expect the weak sentiment to persist this week as investors continue to scale down exposure to the equities market amidst expectations of a continued uptick in fixed income yields. Ope Oluwa, research analyst at Cordros, joins me now for more on this discussion. Ope, thank you so much for joining us. Access Bank and the top spot as the largest bank in Africa, in Nigeria, I beg your pardon, by total assets in the first half of this year. Would like you to have your words really on how the passing of Herbert Wigwe is also sending ripples across the financial markets here in Nigeria and the entirety of Africa. Your words, really.
Thank you very much, David. It's quite a very sad situation seeing the death of one of the biggest trailblazers in the Nigerian finance industry. Speaking specifically to the impacts of Dr. Herbert Wigwe in the banking sector, and I mean, without doubt, his passing will be something that is quite felt across the market, and Dr. Herbert was the driving force behind the massive transformation that was seen for Access the last decade, and it definitely shouldn't be missed. So what we think about is passing in terms of how it affects the market or Access in itself is we do expect to see any significant impact in terms of Access operations as Access as it is we think is backed by a core institutional structure, which is bigger than just we still have one of the founders, Mr. Ike Mokode, who is still alive, which remains a key factor in the operations or successful operability of the business. And the company also is supported by a lot of individuals with strong competencies and capabilities across its subsidiaries. Yeah. This is the bank and the pensions business. So we think that the company still remain quite a strong name or strong presence in the banking sector.
Yes, no doubt the market would definitely feel its absence. But moving on to the matter of the day now, let's talk about the decline we saw in the equities market last week, driven by profit taking and also the higher yield environment we're seeing in the fixed income market. How much of a competition does this pose?
Well, I mean, market last week, or let me say movement last week was pretty much in the equities market determined by investors pretty much chasing the higher yields of fixed income markets, and we started to see sell pressures from the beginning of the week, which sort of subsided towards the end of the week. So we started this week with markets still hanging in the balance. As you rightly said, we saw the markets, week out again today. It's up by about 17 bips and it's driven majorly by price movement on Geregu and Barfoots. Then, just like I mentioned, the sell pressures still exist substantially in the market. So, seeing Cement and Danksem today trade at, or let me say, we've seen offers a little bit down for both names, while we continue to see some offers for MTN, Access, Transcorp, UBA, GTCO, which these stocks have pretty much been under sell pressures so far in today's trading, which just basically points to the fact that the selling or let me say sell pressures that we've seen in the market still remains existent, and continue to see such pressures in the market for the meantime.
Yes, and talking about pressure points now, let's talk about the banking index. What's the fate here going forward?
Yeah, I mean, for the banks, we saw substantial gains in January, and what we've seen so far is that we continue to see investors pretty much book the gains that were made in January. So we might see this going forward until there's a key driver or strong catalyst to substantially change the direction of movement. So right now is hovering across limit up, limit down levels across most of the major banks. But by the time we see full year numbers, 2023 numbers for the banks, we might see direction for the banking stocks change. depending on how quick the numbers are. Well, I mean, we expect the numbers to be quite, strong, given the kind of 2023 that the banks had in terms of core and non-core income.
And as we are counting down gradually to the Monetary Policy Committee, we are also still weighing and looking at the impact of the Apex Bank reforms as well on the banking sector. But we'll leave the conversation here for now, Ope. Thank you so much for your time on the show today. That was Ope Oluwa from Cordros. We'll take